Shalom. This is one of my newest pages. As you can see, Odyssey. It's similar to YouTube. You know, you upload videos the same way. Because a couple of people have been asking me about my new account, Odyssey. Here it is. Go to Odyssey, put in at Tahar Bun Lawyer. I believe you can just put in Tahar Bun Lawyer to come up, or at Tahar Bun Lawyer. You see that's the Great Millstone right there, which is my avatar. I put videos up on this one that you may have videos from YouTube that are also on Odyssey, but there's some videos you put on YouTube they'll take down for obvious reasons, but they won't do that on Odyssey. They let you say pretty much what you want, go into your more controversial videos. This is a great video right here. The MOTB is here. There's another one. This various topics is on the YouTube page, but I also put it up on the Odyssey because it was over an hour long. So I said I wanted to find out if there was a limit to how long a video can be. Another good one. This one right here, I put up. It was a segment from a show that brother Tyreek Nasheed did, and he was speaking about the MOTB. Yeah, I want to go to precept or two. Blue letter. I didn't set anything up. I just, put on the Zoom. By the way, I use Zoom. So, like I said, I hadn't put together anything. So I'm just going by the spirit. Let me go to Ezekiel, basic scripture. Ezekiel 3. I'm sorry, Ezekiel 2. Back to the basics. And this is our job. Not having cookouts and rap concerts and Hebrew Israelite car shows. And our jobs as men of the Lord, we believe we're the men of the Lord, because we're the only ones doing the work, not just us at GMS, but others. But we do 100%, we deal with the 100% truth. Let me see something. Let me try something. Bear with me for a minute. Bear with me for a minute. I put in gospel, a whole gospel. It says Matthew 26, verse 13. Verily I say unto you, wheresoever this gospel shall be preached in the whole world meaning wherever Israel is, to gather the elect, there shall also that this woman had done be told for a memorial of her. This is Mary that washed the Lord's feet with her hair, her long hair. And so he said that when we have the Passover, we always mention this woman. It says the same thing right here. Like I said, just going through certain precepts, whatever comes to mind. You got to jar the memory. I just want to look up the word gospel. Well, let me read this one. This is a somewhat controversial precept, Acts 15, verse 7. And then and when there had been much disputing, Peter rose up and said unto them, men and brethren, ye know how that a good while ago the Most High made choice among us that the Gentiles by my mouth should hear the word of the gospel and believe. So what was Peter referring to? He was referring to Acts, the 10th chapter, and Acts 11th chapter, dealing with Cornelius and his household. It was taught by the seven that Cornelius was the Edomite. He was set up to hold the book. The book wasn't even written. So the seven went off on that, and that's where the split came. You had the first split, and then you had the second split, not the first Adam, but the second Adam. Inside joke, where you had the house of David set up, and we were speaking. We was up in Connecticut at that time. We would go out, like we do now. And they kept saying, and this one of the main guys was Bishop Nate, short for Nathaniel, or Nathaniel guy. That's what his name was given back at One West. And they kept, bringing up councils. Okay, you can't go out and speak. We're having a council every week, for about a month. We got tired of this bullshit. I said, wait a minute. The Most High told us to go out. It tells you in Matthew, the 22nd chapter. Go out on the highways and the hedges, the highways and the byways, and gather the elect for the great marriage. So these guys, and then after the split, we found out them guys stopped going out altogether. They said, we don't got to go out, and we don't got to keep this. So it's a lot of confusion, man. And that's why the IUIC is going to get broken up again. Now, don't ask me to give you a scripture on that. That's just my insight. So this right here, Acts the 15th chapter, you really got to read the whole chapter. It leads you back to a quote that James made in Amos 9. And I said years ago that James went off because this wasn't 2,000 years ago. That wasn't the fulfillment of Amos the 9th chapter. Hey, apostles go off. Read Galatians 2. Now Peter confronted Paul confronted Peter to his face about the Gentile issue, and those Gentiles were Israelites slowly coming into the fold. So they wasn't putting a great emphasis on keeping every law. And the gospel in the Old Testament in Isaiah is good tidings, which is good news. Let's see where the Spirit is going to take me. This is a good one, dealing with the key word gospel. Romans 1 verse 16. For I am not ashamed of the gospel. You got people that don't want to go out because they don't want their bosses to see them, or they don't want certain people to see them. Yeah, but you got to put, part of this truth is you got to put yourself out there. You don't want the feds rolling up on your ass. You don't want the cops frisking your ass and locking your ass down. You know? So a lot of you are afraid or ashamed. Romans 1 verse 16, for I am not ashamed of the gospel of Yahushua, for it is the power of the Most High unto salvation to everyone that believeth, to the Jew first, and also to the Greek. The Greeks, the word Greek right here, so the Lord came down for two nations, right? He only came down for the Jew, the tribe of Judah, and Greeks. He didn't come for Romans, Ishmaelites. No, the word Greek is like a generic term, for lack of a better term, meaning Israelites that didn't know that they were Israelites, as opposed to Grecians in Acts, what is that, Acts 6, Acts the 6th chapter. It speaks about the Grecians. Those were Israelites from outside of Jerusalem that believed in Yahushua. Okay, Romans 15 verse 16. That I should be the minister of Yahushua HaMashiach to the Gentiles, Israelite foreigners, ministering the gospel of the Most High, that the offering up of the Gentiles, Israelite foreigners that didn't know that they were Israelites, that are coming into the fold like Cornelius, I have to explain it that way, might be acceptable, being sanctified, made clean by the Holy Spirit. Those are Israelites, the vocab. There's another good one. I'm not going to read it. Oh, this is a good one. Revelation. I'm sorry. Romans 16, verse 25. Now to him that is a power to establish you according to my gospel. What is the gospel? The whole book. Behold, I come in the volume of the book that is spoken of me or written of me. And the preaching of Yahushua HaMashiach according to, I bet you a lot of these Christians think that Christ is the last name. You know, they call, what you mean Jesus? Christ. Yeah, his last name is Christ. No, Christ, you dumbasses. The word Christ translates into the word anointed or chosen or Messiah. Let's see what the blue letter says. For you wacky tacky Christians.
G5547. Christos. Christos.
And in Latin is Christos, which means anointed or the Messiah. Messiah is Mashiach, the Hebrew word Mashiach, which means anointed. Second Corinthians 4, verse 3, but if our gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are lost. It goes on to say, in whom the power of this world, Esau, the elite of this world, have blinded the minds of them, them are the Israelites, which these jakes that follow vocab, they're blinded by the God of this world, which believe not, lest the light of the glorious gospel of the Messiah, Hamashiach, who is the image of the Most High, should shine unto them. This is why you have you had a gathering of so-called Christian Jake talking about, how can we deal with this problem of so many people leaving the church following the Hebrew Israelites, Islam, and so forth. Well, the light is shining upon them. There's another one. 2 Corinthians 11, verse 4. For if he that cometh preaches another Messiah, which that's what vocab is pushing, that Edomite Messiah. That's a Renaissance Messiah, which is a picture of depiction of Caesar Borgia, whom we have not preached, and we don't preach about the so-called white Jesus, or if ye receive another spirit which ye have not received, or another gospel. So these Christians are bringing another gospel, which is a false gospel, which ye have not accepted, ye might well bear with him. Right, Galatians 1, verse 6, I marvel that ye are so soon removed from him that called you into the grace of Yahushua unto another gospel. Now, what happens is when people that are part of Israel, men and women, most of them, when they become disenchanted, you know what they do? They run right back to the white boy. They run right back to Caesar. Seventh verse, Galatians 1, verse 7, which is not another, but in other words, they use the same scriptures, but they breaking it down the wrong way. But there be some that trouble you. See, vocab comes to trouble us. We're not going to have what's the term? Damn, I can't think of it. Oh, eureka moment or a damn, I can't think of the damn term. It's right on the tip of my tongue. When you have a revelation, it'll come back to me. I'm just getting old. It's right on the tip of my tongue, right in the back of my mind. Oh, epiphany. You know, when your mind opens up, oh, I see it. A eureka moment. Eureka meaning I found it. So if this guy vocab expects us to have a experience a eureka moment or a epiphany, it ain't gonna happen unless you're weak, unless you're not part of the elect. This whole Galatians chapter 1 is a great, says a whole lot. Ephesians has another great book, Ephesians 6 verse 19. Let's see what that says. And for me, that utterance may be given unto me, that I may open my mouth boldly to make known the mystery of the gospel. Or what's the mystery part? The prophetic books. First Thessalonians 2 verse 9. For ye remember, brethren, our labor and travail, for laboring night and day, because we would not be chargeable unto any of you. We preach unto you the gospel of the most high. That means you don't put a price on this. Or you want to know Revelation break, Revelation 11, that's going to cost you $185. You know, First Thessalonians 1 verse 8, in flaming fire, taking vengeance on them that know not the gospel. So you got to know the gospel. If you don't know the gospel, you have to know it. And then once you know it, you have to teach it. Eat this roll and go out and teach the sons of the children of Israel. And that obey not the gospel of our Lord Yahweh Shai. Revelation 14 verse 6. And I saw another angel fly in the midst of heaven, having the everlasting gospel to preach unto them that dwell on the earth, and to every nation, which are Israelites scattered among every nation, and kindred, your family members. And you can read Romans chapter 9, and tongues, because you have Israelites speaking various language, and people. This is all referring to Israelites. So sometimes when you look for a topic, you go to a keyword and you just punch it in and see, and you got a bunch of look at all them precepts dealing with the gospel, the importance of the gospel. And then we go to Ezekiel. It was pretty much back to the basics. Ezekiel 2 verse 1, and he said unto me, son of man, stand upon thy feet, and I will speak unto thee. And the Spirit entered into me when he spake unto me and set me upon my feet, that I heard him that spake unto me. And he, third verse, and he said unto me, son of man, I send thee to the children of Israel. There it goes again, children of Israel. The sons that came out of Jacob, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, to a rebellious nation that have rebelled against me. They and their fathers have transgressed against me, even unto this day. Even unto this day. So you watching it, if you're watching it to whatever date it is, you watch it next week, even to this day, Jake is all about coming against what we're teaching. A verse, but thou, son of man, hear what I say unto thee, be not thou rebellious like that rebellious house. Open thy mouth and eat that I give thee. What are you to eat? The word. And then when you eat the word, you got to go out and preach the word. So all this rap concerts and cookouts, and you get together on the high holy days. We here at GMS is not about hangout Israelites. You come around and hang out. You don't go to the camp, but if there's a big fight, you might get with some brothers. Oh, let's go watch the big fight. You come late. You come the last 15 minutes before the camp closed, and you saluting everybody like you've been in the camp all day. Verse 9, Ezekiel 2, verse 9. And when I looked, behold, and the hand was sent unto me, and lo, a roll of a book was therein. And he spread it before me, and it was written within and without. And there was written therein lamentations and mourning and woe. And that's the destruction. The destruction of Babylon the Great is written all throughout the scriptures, and the Psalms, and in the prophetic books. So you got these so-called Christian scholars, they'll read these various prophetic books and they'll say these are different. Well, that means this and this. No, it's the same event that's getting ready to take place. The time of Jacob's trouble is one event. You have people, oh no, the time of Jacob's trouble is any time Jacob is in trouble. No, the time of Jacob's trouble is when all hell breaks loose before the Lord and the angels come back to deliver us. So I put in the word woe. Let's look up the word woe. Awaya means woe, alas, oh, passionate cry, or grief, or despair. It'll be weeping and gnashing of teeth on that day. This is what Job said. Job 10, verse 15. If I be wicked, woe unto me, destruction unto me. And if I be righteous, yet will I not lift up my head. I am full of confusion. Therefore, see thou mine affliction. Because he was being afflicted by the spiritual demon Satan. Isaiah 3, verse 11. Woe unto the wicked, to Esau. It shall be ill with him, for the reward of his hand shall be given him. So you're going to pay for the evil that you committed and the wickedness that you introduced to the world. Or you always have these gatherings where people let's hold hands. Let's hold hands. That's in what was that, Proverbs, I believe. But then you have the way we live is you have house next to each other. You know, the ancient world, you had a house with land around it. It says Isaiah 5, verse 8, woe unto them that join house to house, that lay field to field, till there be no place, that they may be placed alone in the midst of the earth. '11 verse, woe unto them that rise up early in the morning, that they may follow strong drink, that continue until night, till wine inflame them. Now, this is talking about philosophies. You know, you got like the so-called Black conscious community. All they're doing is drinking strong drink and wine, which is a false philosophies. Solomon said that he said, "Oh, that thou were my brother that sucked the breast of my mother." And it goes on to say that I will give thee spice wine, meaning the truth. And if you're anything outside of an Israelite, you're doomed. Isaiah 5, verse 20, woe unto them that call evil good, good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness. That's what Esau does. That put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. Woe unto them, 21st verse, woe unto them that are wise in their own eyes and prudent in their own sight. Because you think you have the truth and you don't have the truth. Woe unto them, 22nd verse, woe unto them that are mighty to drink wine. What drink wine and men of strength to mingle strong drink. That represents philosophies. You got Jake in the Islam. I was watching a Devin Haney fight last night, him and his father in the Islam. So they lost. So guess what? They're going to be destroyed. A lot of good precepts here. I'm not going to read all of them. Oh, Isaiah 29, that's a good one. The whole chapter. Isaiah 29, verse 15, it says, woe unto them that seek deep to hide their counsel from the Lord, and their works are in the dark, and they say, who seeth us and who knoweth us? First and foremost, that's talking about the elite. This kingdom is based upon the left-hand side, the spiritual side of wickedness, the devil, Satan. It tells you that in Isaiah, Isaiah 47, verse 10 on down, that their power comes from the left-hand side. So if you become super rich, they're gonna allow you in their secret club. Isaiah 30, verse 1, it says, woe to them, woe to the rebellious children, Israelites that go off, saith Yahweh, that take counsel but not of me. And like I said, I've been saying, the Most High is gonna really jack Jacob. The ones of you that are not, and you heard the word, like you people in the so-called Black conscience community, you know about the Israelites because you're constantly wanting to debate against us. And that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin. Isaiah 31, verse 1, woe to them that go down to Egypt for help and stay on horses and trust in chariots, because they are many. And in horses, now Egypt representing Babylon the Great, because they are very strong, but they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek the Lord. So what's going to happen to Jake? There's going to come a time where the Most High is going to destroy you. Woe meaning destruction. Jeremiah 4, verse 13, behold, he shall come up as clouds. How's the Lord coming back? Pursuant to Acts 1, the two men dressed in white, which are angels, saying to the apostle, why he look up, standing up, looking, gazing to the heavens. The way he was taken up is the same way he's going to come back in ships, and his chariots shall be as a whirlwind. His horses are swifter than eagles. Woe unto us, for we are spoiled. You know, you're looking for precepts. You take one word, you do the word search, you get a word search, you get a lot of precepts. You know, you read the scriptures two ways. You can read it from cover to cover, and that's kind of getting the history of the scriptures. And then you can, the real way you understand the scriptures is precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little and there a little. Amos 5, verse 8, woe unto them that desire the day of the Lord. That's Esau. This Christian community, they're looking for the day of the Lord. You don't want the day of the Lord because it's destruction to you. To what end is it for you? The day of the Lord is darkness and not light. Amos 6, verse 1, woe to them that are at ease in Zion and trust in the mountains of Samaria, which are named chief among the nations to whom the house of Israel came. Woe to them that are at ease in Zion. You ain't supposed to be at ease, man. That's why you guys, a lot of you Israelites out there, you take winters off. You're seasonal Israelites. Micah 2, verse 1, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. That's Esau, their leader Esau. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hands. Who's in the power seat right now? Esau. Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follow it. Nahum 3, verse 1. That's another good chapter, a good book to read. Nahum. Woe to the bloody city. That's this place right here. It is all full of lies and robbery. The prey departeth not. I was watching this one video, and if I remember, I'll put it in a link in this video of police. There's like certain areas that you go, that you drive through in Babylon, and you have a certain police unit that pull you over to see if you got bodies in the trunk or contraband, which is drugs, illegal substances. You got you got money, you got more than $10,000 in your car. So you that are saying that you're free, you're not free, because if you make a transaction for $10,000, those flags go up. Let's investigate this guy. Now, if you have made transactions that this is a bill that's going to become law that adds up to 10,000 inside of a year. Let's say, let's break up 10,000. Let's say you put 1,000, make a transaction of $1,000 every month. $1,000, which that's really 12,000. So that's above the 10,000. So they can investigate you. The bank has to report you. So going back to the story, and like I said, I'll put the link in the description box if I remember. This Marine, decorated Marine, I guess he retired, He gets pulled over, and the police officers ask him all kind of questions. Where you going? Which he had the right to say, I don't want to answer any of these questions because he's asking them. If you're asking me, my response is, I'm going to answer them on. I refuse to answer them. And that's and if he holds you for more than a minute, there's nothing on you. You didn't go through a red light. You didn't hit nobody. That's what is that? False imprisonment. They gotta witness you committing a crime. Your light might be out, so they give you a ticket. They don't hold you there for 2 hours because the light is out. So the officers ask him all kind of questions. How many kids you got? Where you going? Where you from? Where were you born? Blah, blah, blah. And he's cool with it. He's smiling. And then he says, do you have anything? And he explains to him, I'm part of a unit. We don't know if people got drugs, got people in the trunk, blah, blah, blah. And he said, do you have drugs? No. You have anybody in the trunk? No. Do you have money in your car? Yeah. Do you have money above 10,000? He said, yeah. He said, how much money do you got? He got 100,000. He said, boy, bingo. They took the I didn't see the whole video because I got pissed off. Then I'm doing this video now. And then what they did was they wind up taking all of his money because they said you're using it for illegal purposes. So this place is gone, man. They know, hey, your biggest thieves are the government. Is the government. And this is a completely corrupt place. And they used to put hell on Jack. They're putting hell on everybody, man. Hey, more Edomites get pulled over by police than damn Jake. So this is a corrupt and wicked place. The devil, Revelation 12, verse 12, the devil shall come down among you having great wrath because he knoweth that he have but a short time. Revelation 13, you can start at about the 13, 14 verse. It speaks about the lamb coming up with 2 horns that spoke as a dragon, and that's Babylon itself. And the main focus of the Crown Vic is coming out of the lamb with 2 horns, which is a separate beast from the major beast in Revelation 13:1, which is also a member of the bigger beast, for lack of a better term. 7 heads and 10 horns and 10 crowns upon his head. One head was wounded as it was to death, and behold, that deadly wound was healed. That's talking about Rome falling and coming back again as America. What is it? Habakkuk 2, verse 9. Habakkuk 2, verse 6. Shall not all these take up a parable against him and a taunting proverb against him and say, woe to him that increases that which is not his, how long, and to him that ladeth himself with thick clay. Now you got to go, now you have to understand Hebrew, because that word clay or thick clay is a Hebrew word, a batyat, which means depth. Let's find out. Like the wise owl said, let's find out. The word there is a batyat. which means weight of pledges, heavy debts. And that word is only written one time in the scriptures. Let me try something. Let me get ready to close it. Bear with me for a minute. Okay, let me go to Google. U.S. debt clock. In real time. Look at that, almost $30 trillion. 30 trillion U.S. national debt. 30 in about a couple more days, it'll be 30 trillion. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, during the Bush, not the Bush administration, not even Obama, the Trump administration, I believe it was somewhere around, when he came into office, it was 16 trillion. So it's doubled in a few years. And who gets to pay for it? Debt per citizen, $80,000. Debt per taxpayer, if you're a taxpayer, do you know how much you owe? 229,000. So if you got 229,000 around, you can, bring the U.S. debt back to zero because it's on you. The onus is on you. U.S. federal budget deficit. There's a term called deficit spending. That means the government pays for things with borrowed money, with money that they don't have, in the form of producing dollars digitally and paper and in paper. Which that's why your prices are going up. We've been saying that for the longest. So it says U.S. U.S. federal budget deficit is hundreds, thousands, millions, billions, 2 trillion. But you still owe this. But the real, where is it? Hundreds, thousands, millions, billions, trillions. Social Security liability, or future liability, 21 trillion. Medical liability, like your Medicaid, because how many people can pay for medical bills out of their pocket? You can't. You need some form of insurance. This is hundreds, thousands, millions, billions, 33 billion. Medical liability, future liability, because they know, projected, they know that in 10 years, they already know what they got to pay for Medicare and Social Security. So we got 33 trillion, 21 trillion. That's almost 55 trillion right there. That's your true, this is what you truly owe. U.S. unfunded liabilities. That's hundreds, thousands, millions, billions. 161 billion. So we got the 200, that's 200 billion in future liabilities. So there you go. U.S. population, 333 million plus. U.S. workforce now, that's your the labor participation rate. You know, when they say the unemployment percentages, but you got to go to these numbers right here. U.S. workforce, who's really working? About half. This is talking about men, women, boys, and girls. They might have to put your kids back to work. That right there is like half of the people at work. So the other half, they're either old, they're children, or they're not working, and they play with the numbers. Anyway, with that, I'm gonna say shalom.